Oh, okay. Oh, so today we're going to watch something quite, quite somewhat disturbing, quite frank. You'll see why, I think. If you if you read the caption on top already. Um, let's get in quite some wholesome, I think maybe some wholesome stories. Caution, in this case, maybe question humanity, true crime documentary. So we're gonna see.
The true story of Lisa Holm, a loving and intelligent 17-year-old girl, a young woman that was spreading her wings and entering the bigger world. But then she vanished, seemingly into thin air. But with no enemies and in a safe location,
Ooh,
where could Lisa have gone?
ooh, oh boy. Well, quite frankly, okay, I was looking up it's just crimes, it's just stories or whatever, but found this. So,
Viewer discretion is advised for this educational documentary.
yes, fair
Welcome
use.
or welcome back to Dark Case Documentaries. I bring you true crime, disturbing stories, and other things that you may later regret knowing with regular uploads every week. Please do join the quickly growing, incredibly supportive Dark Case family by hitting subscribe now and turning on notifications. Remember, choosing to be kind can save a life in many ways. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me. Our love and respect goes out to all those that knew and loved Lisa and all those affected by this case.
Boy.
I just want to preface this video by apologising for my pronunciations of some Swedish words and places. I have tried my hardest to get these words right, but I'm definitely not a native Swedish speaker, so here we go. Lisa Holm was born on the 7th of February 1998. She grew up in the small picturesque town of Skövde, Sweden with her family. Lisa was a kind and caring person who loved animals, listening to music and spending time
I
with her
couldn't do that.
friends. Lisa's mother, Lena Holm, described her daughter as an amazing girl with a heart of gold. She was always there for her friends and family, and she had so
Oh,
many plans for the future. And that she did. She had just graduated from high school and had taken on a new job at a
all right.
cafe in Blomberg. This was just a 45-minute drive from her hometown.
Okay.
Blomberg is a small village in a rural area east of Gothenburg. It was just a stopgap, a summer job before she went on to study social sciences. As a present for graduating and to get her to her new job, her father had bought her a moped to give her some independence.
A
The world
moped.
was opening up to
All right.
17-year-old Lisa. I remember being this age, and it really is the most exciting time you'll ever have. For
A
2
moped.
weeks, Lisa and her father had travelled back and forth for her shifts at the cafe. Her dad travelled with her to let her gain some confidence on the scooter. She was new to the moped and it wasn't the quickest
All
journey,
right.
but now she was ready. On the 24th of May 2015, a video was uploaded to YouTube by the user Lisa Holm. The video was a simple countdown timer. The countdown started at 1 minute and 1 second. The video is only 11 or 12 seconds in duration. The video ended when the countdown hit 50 seconds. The video was titled 13. What you're seeing on
Okay.
screen now is that actual video. On Sunday the 7th of June 2015, Lisa set off for work, alone, for the first time. Lisa was on the closing shift. She made it there with time to spare, a successful journey. Her shift went on as was to be expected. She laughed with customers, she chatted with her colleagues, but generally speaking, the day was uneventful. Lisa and her colleagues began to close up at around 6 p.m, and by 6:23 p.m, she texted her dad to say she was leaving the cafe and would be home soon. A successful first day as an
All right.
independent young woman.
All right.
Shortly after this, she phoned her dad, but it seemed to be an accident, a pocket dial. He could hear the cheerful murmuring of voices from her co-workers. This was positive, it was happy, there was nothing untoward. But unbeknownst to Lisa's father, this would be the last time he would ever hear her voice. The journey from the cafe to Lisa's home should have taken around 40 to 45 minutes. minutes,
Okay.
but by 7:30 p.m., she still wasn't home. Her parents tried to call her, but it repeatedly went straight to voicemail. They became increasingly anxious, so her father drove along the route that she was taking. He checked every roadside ditch, scared that she'd had an accident. However, there was no sign of her at all. When he arrived at the cafe and saw the moped outside, he had a moment of immense relief. But this moment was short-lived. As he got closer, he saw the keys in the ignition. The relief was cruelly snatched away and replaced with a creeping dread. Lisa was wise. She would not just leave the keys in the scooter and walk away. After searching the cafe and the surrounding area to no avail, Lisa's father called the police, who launched a preliminary investigation. When the police arrived at the cafe, they searched the area for any sign of the missing girl. Anyone who knew Lisa knew they were looking at a case of abduction and not a runaway. With the help of a police dog, they searched the surrounding areas. This included a conspicuous barn that sat across from the cafe, but nothing. They knocked on doors, asking local residents for any information that could help. The search continued overnight, leading into Monday the 8th of June, but it was all fruitless. In the morning, they released a statement to say that a teenage girl was missing. They chose not to reveal Lisa's name, holding the information close to their chest. But they felt this gave enough information away to assist the investigation. At the same time, the police made a harrowing discovery. A moped glove had been found in the barn opposite the cafe. It was confirmed to be Lisa's. This was the same barn that had been searched by the police and the search dogs the nights before. Strangely though, nothing had been found during those initial searches. The glove had been handed in to the police by the landlord of the Blomberg estates. He said that it had been found by farm workers who had gone into the barn to begin their work that morning. Unfortunately, the chain of custody for the glove was not entirely reliable. This essentially invalidated any forensic evidence that could have been taken from it. But the discovery of the glove changed the course of the investigation. The investigation was consequently upgraded. This allowed authorities to make use of all resources available to them. This meant more officers, larger search parties, and more manpower. Officers established a command centre at Kelby Sports Ground near the cafe, and quickly more traces of Lisa were discovered. A few hundred metres south, officers found what appeared to be the contents of her pockets. A mobile phone case, 2 old receipts, a used metro ticket, and a smashed mobile phone screen. With some solid progress finally coming, all the items were identified as Lisa's by her parents. These items were found on a small gravel road off the beaten track. If you weren't a local, you probably wouldn't even know that the path existed. The discovery of the smashed mobile phone confirmed the police's worst fears. One of the first ports of call was to trace a teenager's movements using her cell phone. But when they triangulated her phone on the day of her disappearance, they reached a dead end. Lisa's last known location was at the cafe, but there was no activity after she left. This told investigators that she may have been told to switch off her mobile, or more concerningly, it was taken from her so that a captor could destroy it. With a smashed screen found, things weren't looking too good. Lisa's family, friends, and 2 colleagues were interviewed, but no new leads were found. Lisa was just a normal 17-year-old girl from a small town. There was simply no one that anyone could think of that would want to do her any harm. On the very next day, Tuesday the 9th of June, more evidence was found. Her driver's license and house keys. But still no Lisa and no indication of where she could be. The search teams emptied mineral wells, they scoured buildings and waded through farmlands, all in the hopes of finding anything that could point them in the right direction. But time was quickly running out. The chances of someone being returned home safely were exponentially lessening as the days drew on. The police and the family made the call to release Lisa's identity to the public on Wednesday the 10th of June. After this press conference, almost 1,000 people flocked from across Sweden to help aid the search. To this day, this search party for Lisa is the largest Sweden has ever seen. With the extra manpower, the search parties began to go back over places that they'd already searched. One of these places was the barn. During yet another search of the barn, investigators found one of Lisa's earrings near the
What
entrance.
the hell?
Police narrowed in on the barn and forensics teams were brought in to obtain as much
Wait. Okay, wait. This barn. Okay, this barn. Okay. How are they keep on missing stuff from this damn barn? Really, like, what the hell? I mean, the barn's not big. Like, how are y'all missing? How are y'all missing this stuff?
much information as possible. They discovered some biological matter, namely human feces. These were believed to actually belong to the person responsible for taking Lisa. Due to human evolution during times of immense rushes, there can be an urge to void the bowels. These speculated that whoever took Lisa experienced this adrenaline rush. For them, this was all a thrill. Whilst forensic investigators narrowed in on the barn, the search area grew to a 5-kilometre radius around the cafe, including nearby farms and residences. Searchers reached a property called Martop Farm, which sat a few kilometres from the cafe. Whilst they were there, 2 men turned up in a car. They claimed that the farm had already been examined and not to waste their time. But something didn't
Weird.
seem right. The volunteers were suspicious and decided they should call it in to the police. When law
Yeah.
enforcement arrived, they continued to hunt, and soon they found Lisa's helmet, jacket, and earphones hidden under the twigs and foliage.
Uh,
Nearby was an old wooden trailer or work shed that looked like it had been recently accessed. The long grass leading up to it was flattened or pushed down. As they entered, the unmistakable smell of death hit them in the face.
oh no.
Inside, there were benches and lockers like an old changing room. The lockers were closed except one that was full of old clothes. They then opened every locker, but they found nothing. They then looked more closely at the locker stuffed with clothes. In that cramped, narrow space, they realized they weren't looking simply at clothing. Instead, they had found Lisa, stuffed into the locker, no longer breathing. She
Oh,
was only half dressed and had a rope around her neck. Duct tape was over her mouth and her nose. On Friday the 12th of June, the
what
police stormed
sick
the house at
bastards.
Martrup Farm. They arrested a 25-year-old man, his wife, and his brother. Nerejus
All 3 of them.
Belavicius, his brother Ivarus, and Nerejus's wife. The Lithuanian brothers worked as labourers on Martrup Farm, and also in the barn by the cafe. Their house led directly onto the gravel road where Lisa's belongings had been discarded. It was between the farm and the barn. They all denied any involvement in Lisa's case, and they acted as alibis for each other. The barn
Of
was
course.
inspected once again amid growing criticism that the police had not been thorough enough.
Yeah.
This barn wasn't just one wide open space. There were several rooms, including an office and a
Oh,
milking
okay.
room. The office
Okay.
had a
No
large
wonder why they
window
missed
with
the
a
stuff
clear
then.
view of the cafe. From it, anyone in there could see young waitresses coming in and out serving customers. In that office was evidence of self-gratification on the wall by the window. Stains, if you will. After these stains
Oh,
were tested for DNA, they were found to be a positive match for Nerejus. Disturbingly, Lisa's co-workers from the cafe later recalled seeing one or both
okay. So he let's say relieved himself. Oh, I mean, ugh. Like, oh, okay. So he was relieving himself and possibly watching her work, and probably this was daily. Uh,
both of the brothers staring at them from that window. In the milking room, there was a pipe sticking out of the wall with a rope on it. This later tested positive for Lisa's DNA. This is where she is thought to have taken her final breaths. Police
Milking worm? Uh, ew. I, it sounds like what I hope it's not what I think it is. I really, really hope it's not what I think. Because quite frank, oh, oh God, oh, and plus, look how nasty it fucking looks. Look how nasty this room looks.
Now pieced together the gruesome timeline. Nerejuice pulled up in the car just as Lisa was getting on her moped. It is likely that he grabbed her and dragged her into the barn. To silence her, he used duct tape. He then suspended her from a pipe in the milking room. The attack was most likely carnally motivated. Although an autopsy determined that Lisa hadn't been violated, male fluids were found on all of her clothes and in the barn. Investigators believed that Nerejuice had gotten so aroused that he gratified himself as Lisa was taking her final breath. He then took
Oh,
her body to the trailer on Martup Farm and put her in the locker, disposing of her belongings along the way. It was a senseless attack and an even more
oh,
senseless
what a
disposal.
sick
However,
fuck.
his alibis were concrete. Oh wait, no they weren't. Brother Ivorus folded like a glass bedsheet. Badly. He eventually told the truth. He admitted that his brother had acted strangely the night of Lisa's disappearance, going out and then putting his clothes in the washing machine upon his return. His brother had asked him to give a false alibi when the police came to question them. He said that the police were bound to blame a non-national for the crime, and his brother played along. However, the real reason was that he himself had committed the crime. But
Oh,
now the police had everything. Nerejuice's DNA was all over the crime scene, Lisa's clothes, and he had no alibi. Remember the countdown clock that I mentioned earlier
yeah.
in the video? This was something that went viral around the time that Lisa vanished. Online communities jumped on this element of the story, a kind of once-in-a-lifetime event that is like something from a movie or gritty Netflix drama. The title of the video, 13, was the number of full days between the video being posted and Lisa disappearing. The channel
Wow.
name was obviously Lisa Holm. So many were theorizing that this all pointed towards this crime being premeditated. Premeditation makes a big difference with what charges can be brought against a suspect and what sentences will be handed down to them.
Oh my
Police
God.
investigated the origins of the video. However, they discovered it was nothing more than a cruel hoax. The video title had been changed to 13 after Lisa vanished, and the channel name was also changed to Lisa Holm, just to add to this cruel mystique. In
Wow.
November 2015, the case went to trial. The prosecutors argued that Nerejuice had kidnapped Lisa so that he could intimately violate her. When police seized his computers, they discovered a lot of dark and disturbing adult films. Suspending Lisa from the pipe in the milking room was for his own gratification, trying to reenact the films on his computer. And then after the fact, once he'd had what he wanted, he tried to hide what he had done. It was hard to argue against the concrete facts,
Come on.
against the
Give this
evidence,
man
but
the death
strangely,
penalty.
his defense tried to push the blame onto his younger brother. They said that he had planted the evidence. They argued that there was no DNA found in the car, so how could he have transported the body? That is a valid argument, but thankfully one that didn't hold up against the mountains of evidence stacked against him. He denied ever having met Lisa at all, saying, "I have not ever met this girl, I have only seen her picture. I know how difficult it is for the family and I suffer with them. I myself am a father." No DNA of Ivorus was found. He couldn't be placed anywhere near Lisa. On the 17th of November
Come on, tell me you
2015,
give
a
this man death.
verdict was reached. Nerejuice Belivicius
Please tell me you okay. Please tell me this man gets the death penalty, life in prison. It's one, at least one of those two. One of those two. Come on.
was found guilty. He was sentenced to life in
There
prison
we
for his
go.
crime.
There
The
we go.
monster who took the beautiful and kind Lisa would spend the
That's
rest
what
of
I'm
his
talking
life
about.
in prison. It just turns out that the rest of his life wasn't very long. On the 3rd of August 2022, Nerejuice was jabbed in the neck with a sharp implement by another inmate. This is no justice for the pain he caused the family and friends of Lisa Holm,
Wait,
but they can rest assured he will
wait,
never
wait a
be
minute.
able to do out that the rest of his life wasn't very long. On the 3rd of August 2022,
That's 4 years ago. They got his fucking ass. They got his fucking ass. Good, good.
Nerejuice was jabbed in the neck with a sharp implement by another inmate. This is no justice for the pain he caused the family and
Yeah,
friends of Lisa Holm, but they can rest assured he will never be able to do anyone else harm, ever again. Do you think that the punishment fitted the crime here?
yeah,
What do you think could be done to avoid something like
yeah,
this happening again in the future?
yeah.
Let me know down in the comments.
He got it. He fucking got what he deserved. That's pure justice, I'd say. Pure freaking justice. Um, quite frank, okay, here's another video, quite frank, I might watch is the pit bull, is the 12 loose pit bulls sent entire neighborhood into lockdown. I might watch that. I just clicked on it, but like the video before or whatever, before I started this one. I don't know if I want to watch this. Um, I mean, if it's something that y'all want to see, it'll be great. Um, but let's keep on going to comments. Let's go going. Okay, I worked in a large group in rural Australia. We were always we were always we was always escorted home we was always escorted to our car by management. Nobody was to leave alone after 8 p.m. It was a good suburb with no crime, but that was club policy. Every workplace should ensure that their staff that they should ensure the safety of their staff after dark. Yeah, yeah, that's right. I think the person that shanked him in prison should be considered for a reduction in sentence for good behavior, ridding the world of a monster sociopath. Rest in peace, Lisa. Yep, yeah. People committing this kind of crime deserve no less than a death sentence, a life for a life. Oh wait, okay, okay. You could see through the clips of Lisa that she was a bundle of joy and pure light. So sorry for the family loss. R.I.P. Beautiful Lisa. As a father, I can't imagine. This is why the death penalty needs to exist for murder and self-defense needs to be a human right. The inmate who served justice for Lisa deserves a medal. One day my okay, I'm s- I will read this one. Okay. One day my son's bus broke down and his mobile needed charging. The bus company sent a new bus and he was 35 minutes late getting home. My son is never late without me knowing. I nearly lost my mind. My heart breaks for the parents with missing children. Not knowing must be a living hell. Some people's children never come home. They never recover, but they have to keep existing. You never know what someone's going through. Please be kind. Yep. I'm okay. Wait. Okay. Okay. I'm from Sweden, and this case was genuinely horrifying when it all happened. Watching this video made me feel like I did back when Lisa's fate was uncovered. Gut-wrenching is all I could say. Lisa lived in the same town I live in now, so this video hits me differently. Thanks for always being respectful toward the victim and their family. Oh, I mean, phew. It's sad. Okay, wait. It's sad. Wait, it's sad when bad things happen to good people. Yup. She's so young and beautiful. Looks like a fun and caring young lady. Just getting her feet into the world. into the world on our own, cruel and unnecessary evil. Oh man, yeah, it just, I, I want, I shouldn't look. I really shouldn't. I really shouldn't. Okay, it's not here. I don't think the video's here. Okay. Okay, is the video's not here. I'm sure they probably took it down. They probably took it down, right? They probably took it down. Right, it's probably gone. It's probably long gone. Oh, thank goodness. All right. Okay. Oh, goodness. Well, oh, it's still here. It is still here. Oh, God. Oh, oh, um, wow. Oh, gosh. Um, okay, I'm gonna cut it here. I'm gonna say thank you all for coming. Um, wow. If y'all wanna if y'all wanna do more videos, if y'all wanna find y'all videos and shit like that you wanna react to, please y'all tell me what you all got in mind. I'll look it up and I'll watch them or whatever. But wow, uh, just wow. I'm sorry, my brain is just just running fast right now. But yeah, wow. Thank you all for coming. I'll see you all tomorrow for for Hello Lady. I'm not gonna do a live stream. But I'll see you all tomorrow.